We've been lost for days, and no one can seem to trust each other. And the noises outside our tents at night aren't helping either. What's going on, guys? It's your BFF Snowy Oreo 663 here, right now. And for day 28 of the Scare-A-Thon, we have the grandpappy of found footage films with the Blair Witch Project from 1999. I hadn't seen this one before, but for crying out loud, does everyone know this movie? The one that popularized found footage, which is one of my favorite types of movies. I know it's gonna be hard to judge this movie nowadays, especially since it's clear this isn't real and apparently not very scary in this modern age, but I want to see it for the credits, okay? I'll start with a brief synopsis, go into my thoughts, and then dive into spoiler territory with a full summary. Ready? Let's go. Heather is an amateur filmmaker looking to make a documentary about the myth of the Blair Witch, an entity that supposedly haunted the town of Burkittsville, Maryland. She brings along a friend named Josh to run the camera and one of Josh's friends named Mike to run the sound stuff. Very convenient that the guy with the microphone is named Mike, I must say. Anyway, the group heads out to the woods to get footage of specific locations, but find that getting back to the car seems impossible when they get hopelessly lost. To make matters worse, every night, strange sounds can be heard outside their tents, and unexplained things continue to happen to them each night that goes by. So for this one, I could probably summarize the entirety of this movie in about 2 paragraphs, because in reality, very little actually happens beyond what I've just said in the opening. It's very slow, hardly anything being shown to you about the threat in the woods. In fact, you never actually see what's out there, it's all implied. There's also practically no gore in this to speak of, a tiny bit if you squint, but in reality, everything's just implied. I can only imagine how terrifying this had to be to witness in 1999, but nowadays it feels pretty empty and lackluster. The best thing this film had going for it for me is the acting and the realistic characters. I never once doubted the performances or setting. It truly does feel real, and very few found footage films feel as authentic as this one. And that's kind of its only real staying power for me. I'll be real with you guys, we finally hit the classic film that I greatly respect, but don't enjoy personally. There was very little to keep me entertained or hooked. I was mostly bored due to barely anything going on except for vague sounds and piles of stones mysteriously appearing. Mike became so unlikable that I wish Josh and Heather would just eat the fucker since they were so hungry. I did like some of the scenes towards the end, but stupid character choices and never-ending scenes of nothing to see aside from blackness sort of drove me insane. Random fun fact, did you know that the same year that this came out, Cartoon Network aired a series of commercial bumpers with the Scooby-Doo gang recreating this film in a parody style? The special then aired all together, but it's seriously so entertaining and hilarious that they got away with this shit. Feeling like a goddamn fever dream, but here we are. I cannot believe this is real. Anyway, now we're gonna get a little deeper into the plot and into some spoilers. If you want to skip, head to this time. Ready? 3, 2, 1, boo! The group hears some suspicious sounds outside one night, their sanity dropping as they get more and more lost. Heather can't seem to find the map the next day, everyone arguing until they're blue in the face about where it went.
No, I didn't take the fucking map, man. The map. Map. Alright, I get it!
Mike starts laughing like a madman, admitting he kicked it into the creek. What a dick. They wander around for a few more days, each night having something random happen. Weird sounds, mysterious rock piles appearing, and coming across this cool-ass set piece in the woods. Things amp up even worse when Josh goes missing in the night. Heather and Mike hearing his screams echoing throughout the woods. In the morning, Heather finds a bundle of sticks with bloody teeth inside, thinking they belong to Josh. That night, when Heather and the audience get a break from Mike's never-ending complaining, they hear Josh scream once again. The two run into the darkness, finding an abandoned house in the woods. Mike charges in first, running throughout the house chasing his friend's voice. His camera gets knocked out of his hand in the basement, leaving us with just Heather. She fearfully enters the basement, seeing Mike standing motionless in the corner, facing away. She screams in horror and drops her camera, the film ending there with no further explanation. I think this wins for the shortest recap I've given so far. And this movie's about 80 minutes. It's short, yes, but there's so little going on overall that it's almost comical. And the horror itself mostly comes from the paranoia of the characters. Mike's constant bitching, Josh's inability to say how he really feels, and Heather's isolation are different levels of tolerable, with some being super engaging, while the others make me want to toss a live grenade into a man's face.
Think fast, chuckle nuts!
And the woods themselves, to me, just aren't scary, compared to something like The Ritual, where a shot of trees just makes me on edge. Here, for fuck's sake, behind them could be a busy country road. It doesn't feel isolated enough for me to even be a tiny bit scared. But I still respect the hell out of this movie for what it accomplished for the time. The same way I acknowledge the story and character flaws in a film like Snow White, but brush them aside due to the monumental achievement this film is as a whole. I can say this is a good film, even if to today's standards it's pretty lackluster and boring. But we wouldn't have great found footage films of today if it wasn't for this powerhouse of cinema, and you gotta give it credit for that alone. Despite my boredom, I'm giving this one 3 out of 5 stars. Thanks so much for watching my video. As for the next movie, Trying to keep yourself alive as the world falls apart around you isn't an easy task, but as strange as it is, your social media might be the key to your survival. Bye!